Welcome back to Dickin' Around Outdoors. Now our intention today was to do this video outside, but we've got a lot of wind and that's never good for the audio on a video. So we have instead come to Base Camp Garage. And we are excited because today we are going to be testing what could be, and I don't use this term lightly, a game changer in the stovetop camping oven market. This product was designed by a Swedish outdoor chef who teaches classes on outdoor cooking and has authored multiple cookbooks, who took a look around the market and said, I am not satisfied with the ovens available, so I'm going to try to improve it. So he spent multiple years coming up with a design. The oven that we're going to test today is a pre-production model. There's going to be some tweaks made before it goes to final production, expected early next year. And this is currently crowdfunding on the website Kickstarter. If you're familiar with Kickstarter, it's where new products come to market that are funded by folks where you sort of pre-order it. So if you like the way this oven performs today and you want to get your hands on this as early as possible, do go to Kickstarter and back the project. If you don't have a Kickstarter account, it's very easy to set one up. So what are we talking about? We are talking about this little beauty here. It's called the Hajka Oven. Hajka is Swedish for hike, so it's the camping oven designed to cook on a stovetop. It's not designed for a fire, but unlike the other ovens in the market that I'm familiar with, this is not just sort of a shell. This is a complete cooking system that has everything you need to cook multiple ways. So let's take a look at what's in the kit and the ways that you can cook in this oven. So the first thing about the oven is that it has a lid that doesn't have holes all around the outside. It has one hole that's designed for a thermometer, and it has a unique silicone handle that makes packing easy. It just folds out of the way and doesn't get hot. And one of the unique aspects of the way that this lid is designed is that, like a home grill, the heat on this oven exits around the edges. So you get heat circulating around the top and then exiting the oven. And as I mentioned, this is more of a complete cooking system. So what do you get inside? The first thing is you get a 7¼ inch baking dish that's also able to be used as a fry pan. And the pan is coated with a nonstick ceramic. So even though it's nonstick, it doesn't have any of the issues that Teflon might have. The next item you get is a flat carbon steel plate, which is the pizza plate. And this plate is designed to do pizzas, obviously, as well as things like crescent rolls and anything else that you can set on it and bake. In being carbon steel, I have seasoned the surface of one side. You can see the difference, in order to help it become more non-stick. The next two items are a baking pan, and inside the baking pan is a roasting grate. Now this pan is designed to do roasting effectively, as I said, and you can use this for things like meats, vegetables. We're going to do chicken nuggets because kids love chicken nuggets. And these items are stainless steel and are designed to work together. So you put the grate into the pan so you don't have anything dripping into your oven. And the last thing I want to talk about is the way that Hajka has addressed the issue of having to have a hole in the middle of your oven, or a tube. They have a plate, and this is a carbon steel plate suspended by the 3 hooks that also serve as the holders for the different cooking attachments. And this plate is designed so that the flame comes up through the middle, warms the plate up so that you get some radiant heat, but also forces the heat around into the sides of the oven. And what's unique about this oven, as opposed to the other round ovens on the market, is that the sides of the oven where the heat is flowing never touches the food. So as you can see, in the bottom is a large hole, and that's where your flame comes in, hits the plate, and disperses around the oven. We're planning on testing all of these cooking methods today. We're going to make cornbread because that is one of our favorite camping foods. we're going to cook a pizza on the pizza plate and see how that goes. And because there are often kiddos at camp, and kiddos love chicken nuggets, we're going to do chicken nuggets in the roasting plate just to see how it works for a simple food like that. And for today's cook, we're going to use the Snow Peak Iron Grill table with the flat burner. We have not experimented at all with this oven. All right, we have our fire as low as it can go. It's sputtering just a little bit. I'm reading 449 on my air temperature gauge inside the hood. So we're going to put this in. It calls for a 400-degree oven. Let's put the cornbread in and see how it does. So we have the fire now. We set it to where we had a consistent burn, but as low as it could go. It's been 15 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and check it because the recipe said 15 minutes to 20. So let's give it a check. Not quite done yet. One thing that I did want to show you that I forgot to mention is as part of the kit, it comes with a pot gripper that has a rubber hose on it, and that hose is designed to protect the ceramic coating on the pan. So we're going to use these pot grips to remove the pan from the oven when the cornbread is done. We're 23 minutes. Let's check it. I think at this point we're going to take it out. I don't want to burn the bottom while I'm waiting for the top to brown. So let's see how it looks. I think that looks pretty decent. Maybe not quite as brown as we'd get in a Dutch oven, but I don't want to risk burning the bottom, so let's go ahead and get this out. Set it aside for a second, and then we're going to see if the nonstick pan is nonstick, see if we can just dump it out onto a plate. All right, let's turn this out and see what the bottom looks like. And sure enough, popped right out. Ooh, that looks perfect. So the bottom got a beautiful brown. The top, although not as good as I said, as you would get from a Dutch oven cook where you had heat radiating from the top, it still looks excellent, and I can't wait to tear into it and see how it tastes. So first test, a big success. For our next test, we're going to try pizza. And for our pizza, and please, no comments about my pizza making skills. We have a cheater dough from the grocery store, and we've just put on some Mexican four cheese, some pasta sauce, and a couple pepperonis. And for that, we're going to use the plate for pizza. I'm going to put my seasoned side up, and this plate sits right on the hangers. They support it. It's in, so we're going to warm this up for a couple minutes. Then we're going to toss the pizza on. All right, we're using a slightly higher fire for the pizza. I'm hoping that this fits on that plate well and doesn't hang over the edge. If it does, something burns, I'm not going to fault the oven for that. So let's get the pizza in on the plate. Looks like it's going to fit just nicely. And we're going to start checking this at 5 minutes. The recipe for the crust said 7 to 9 minutes, so we're going to just kind of start a little bit early, make sure we're not too hot on the bottom. We're now at a grand total of 8.5 minutes. We're going to check this. I suspect it will be ready to come out. And oh yes, that looks good. We've got some bubbling going on. The pepperoni looks good. So we're going to go ahead and take this out. I'm going to check the bottom, make sure we don't have any burning going on there. Camera lady, how's it look?
Looks good.
Looks good. All right, that pizza is done. It looks great. No burning on the bottom. Maybe the type of crust I use, but hey, I'm using them all the time if I don't burn them. I didn't put anything on this pizza plate other than seasoning it in the oven, and it slipped right off. There was no sticking. All right, so we've made kids happy with the pizza. Now we're going to make them even more happy with chicken nuggets. We're going to use the roasting pan, and we're just going to bake some nuggets and see how that goes. Again, this pan is designed for nuggets as well as meat and vegetables, that kind of thing. So we're just going to give it a try. I'm just going to throw a few in here. We've preheated the pan slightly, not very long. We're just going to throw a few in there. The package says 15 to 20 minutes. So we're going to come back in about 8 minutes. We're going to just stir them around a little bit, and we will check them at 15 for doneness and see how they look. Hopefully we get some nice brown chicken nuggets. These have been going for 26 minutes. If you remember, the recipe was 15 to 20, so a little bit longer. But I did turn the heat up after turning them the second time. I just think I had it a little bit too low. So we are going to have a look, and they look excellent. A little bit of crispness, but not much. They're still sizzling. They are hot. So I am going to call those done. Don't let me kid you. It's not just children that like nuggets, and these nuggets are awesome. So, we had the chance to test this Hajka camp oven, and remember, we had never put it on a fire before we cooked today. And throughout all of our cooks, we got great results. We didn't burn anything, and the stove just performed on every cooking tool that it comes with. I'm impressed with this thing. I think Eric did a great job in the design, and I know he's been working on it, so I'm sure he's tooled it over many times. But everything we cooked in it worked great. I actually ended up having to turn the fire up at some times, so it's not like my other stove where I can't get the fire low enough without a flame tamer to not burn things. This doesn't burn stuff like that does. Now, don't forget, this is a camp oven. It does heat from the bottom, so absolutely you can have the heat too high and you will burn things in it. That is just the nature of these types of ovens. But as Eric has designed this, I think this is by far best in class and is easy to use without having to spend a lot of time practicing and fiddling. So great job, Eric. I think this is a wonderful stove. As a camping stove, as a hiking stove, it weighs 3 pounds, 2 ounces if you take all of the accessories, which you don't always have to do. So maybe it's a little on the heavy side, but not being a hiker, this would be great for canoes, certainly good for overlanding. It doesn't come with a case. So as I said, the case that is sold on the Firebox website fits it perfectly. It does a great job. I love the silicone handle. It doesn't get hot. You can cook for 20 minutes, reach down, pull that up without any gloves. It's great. So everything turned out well. I would definitely use this. Now remember, this is a pre-production model. If you want one or want to be the first ones to get this oven, make sure you head over to Kickstarter. I'll put a link below to the campaign. If you have a Kickstarter account, that's great. You can pledge. And if you don't, it's pretty easy to set one up. And when these things come out in the spring, I don't think you will be disappointed at all. If you don't have Kickstarter, don't want to pledge, don't want to sort of take the risk that something happens and you never get your stove, you can wait until the spring when it's released and then order it. Price-wise, the Kickstarter campaign, if I recall, is 120 euros, give or take 125 US dollars. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, maybe another 25 to ship it to the States. So all in, call it a $1.50. That's more expensive than the base Omnia, which is a competitor, of course. But if you buy an entire Omnia kit, this is actually cheaper. And from my experience, much easier to use and doesn't burn things. And remember, this is a hiking and camping oven, which means you are limited on the capacity that you can cook in it. It's good for, call it 2 to 4 people. And remember, if you like this type of content, if you like hearing about camping gear and our thoughts on that, please take a moment to hit that sub button in the lower right-hand corner, give us a thumbs up, and share this content with your like-minded friends. And as always, take care, and we'll see you outdoors. In fact, we might even invite you over for a nugget.